What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your daily dose of Man United news. Welcome to your transfer view. Welcome to your Man United optimism, your Man United energy, your Man United therapy, all of that, and just generic jokes, really, isn't it?
Hello there. Yes, I very much enjoyed that intro there, Flex. That was a lot of fun.
It wasn't bad. You sounded a little bit low in my headphone. I might just take these out because since
Do
I've
you know
just
what it
tried to put
was?
these
Do you know
in,
what it was? I know I see some people saying in the chat, late, a little bit late. We were ready, and then Flex went, "Forgot my headphones. Got to go get headphones." And he put his headphones in, and he went, "Can't hear very well." Oh.
yeah, they're just annoying me. But I think if everyone can hear you fine, then I'm just gonna leave it because
I
it's
feel
my
like
problem.
Flex, you have a love-hate relationship with headphones because as long as I've known you, every single time you go, headphones. I don't know what's going on with these headphones. The
Yeah,
microphone changes, or you go, I can't hear properly. Just
yeah.
it's
No,
always
it's
the
true.
way.
I'm not that tech savvy in it, so I need Josh like just letting me know what's going on and all of that stuff. But anyway, there you go. You lot smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. I have to say, I'm proper enjoying these Monday shows. Now we've got our routine. Now we're organized with it. Everyone always comes in, drops in, interaction. Um, and yeah, it's just building this like 9 o'clock community or 5 past 9 community because we're usually like 4 minutes late every day, 5 minutes late, is building. So yeah, I just want to big up to everyone for coming through and showing love on a consistent basis and help build the channel, man. So love to everybody. Owen, we got a lot to talk about this morning. Martinez major push, Antony price too high, Ten Hag training details, Malacia deal is done, and obviously we've got the home kit announcement today as well. But Owen, let's get straight into the Martinez thing because that's what everyone wants to talk about. It looks like we're going to get De Jong maybe over the weekend or early next week. We know the Malacia thing is pretty much all but wrapped up. Loads of reports claiming that we are turning our attention now to Martinez. What's going on?
Yes, as you mentioned, it does look like we're getting Frankie De Jong and Malacia as well over the weekend. And announcements, frankly, could be coming at any time. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But with these deals seemingly getting closer and closer to being done, United are now turning their attention to Lisandro Martinez. And I guess a bit of a concern would be that we're getting into a bit of a bidding war, but it looks like this bidding war could be quite short if reports are accurate. So Simon Jones from the Mail is saying that sources in Holland, and also it must be said Marcel van der Kram was saying this yesterday too, are saying that Manchester United are expected to make a major push for Lisandro Martinez over the weekend, and that the pool of new Man United manager Erik ten Hag would actually sway away any bidding war, getting this deal done fairly quickly. Now, Martinez is said to be very high on Erik ten Hag's wish list and is regarded as United's next target after Terrell Malacia and Frankie de Jong. For their part, though, Manchester United have maintained they would need to offload defenders first, which again is quite interesting when they talk about, no, there's not going to be much of a bidding war. United are going to step up and make a major push for Martinez this weekend. But we also got to sell defenders first. And we know the pace in which we're selling players is slightly non-existent at the moment. Now, when it comes to Martinez himself, he's open to the possibility of joining either Manchester United or Arsenal and hasn't closed off the prospect of joining Arsenal should Arsenal reach an agreement with Ajax. Martinez himself is currently on holiday at the moment, but is following reports regarding his future and does actually relish the idea of playing in the Premier League for either side. So a bit of interesting reports there, to be honest, Flex. We're looking at a situation where United are reportedly going to step up their interest over the weekend, and Erik ten Hag is seen to be as the key to this Martinez deal getting done for Manchester United. But we've also got to sell defenders. Now, when it comes to Arsenal, they're still in the race, and Martinez is actually happy to go either place. It's just a case of who can reach that agreement with Ajax. How are you feeling about this one? Do you think we're going to get the guy, or do you think this one is still quite 50-50?
Uh, I don't, I don't think it's 50-50. Maybe 60-40 or even slimmer percentage than that. Only because I think it's closer to 50-50 than we think, though. Only because there were other reports saying that Martinez is basically kind of just wants to come to the Premier League. He's still negotiating with Arsenal as it stands because you have to remember we haven't bid yet. Obviously, that's what this report's about. The fact that they're saying Manchester United will bid. Manchester United over the next 24 to 48 hours are going to come strong. But until I see that we've made a bid and at least given Martinez something to think about, I'm a little bit reserved on this deal. And then especially when you hear the bit about we need to offload, which is understandable. I haven't heard anything about Tuanzebe yet. I haven't heard anything about Jones. I haven't heard anything about Bailly. So, whether Manchester United, obviously in the background before they bid, They know that they've got things there in the pipe. Things happen really, really quickly. Sometimes journalists, as we saw with the Malacia situation, done deal to Leon. Here we go, for Romano, the lot, and then boom, it all just changed. So, unless they know there's something in the background, then fair enough. But I think it's quite a quick turnaround when Arsenal are on their second bid. They're way ahead of us in this deal than we are. The Ten Hag factor, and once a bid does come in, and we know what Arsenal have put twice, so we can trump that bid. So there should be no reason for us to put in a bid that's unacceptable, and there should be no reason for us to not be able to negotiate well with the player after making a bid, because we should have done that. Like Melissa already said, we're doing our due diligence. We're working that out now. So that's why I'm not quite 50-50. I'm a little bit more towards our side, but there's still a hell of a lot to do to get this deal done. And I think a lot of dominoes need to fall if we're going to get Lisandro Martinez, because shifting out players we know is not easy at Man United. Arsenal are further along in the deal, and other reports, just to give the other side, not just the side that kind of favors us and the side that we want to hear, other reports are claiming that he's open to both. He wants to just come to the Premier League. So if he doesn't get an offer before Arsenal secure it, then he's got to make his mind up. His agent's probably going to say, right, Eric or John Murto, what's your plan here? Because Arsenal have given us this. This is the personal terms. Are you going? What's the likeliness? Because we need to know now. And if it gets into that, we might not be ready.
No, I agree. I think as the second half of that report said, Martinez is open to both moods. I think his priority, as you mentioned, is to play in the Premier League. Priority isn't to play for United or to play for Arsenal. It's to play in the Premier League. It certainly looks like, as we spoke about before, isn't it? There's that pool of players that are going to move in the summer. He's part of that pool. Come the end of the transfer window, I don't think he'll be an Ajax player. I am concerned about getting into a bidding war, because we know how those things go. But I would think whoever it is, whether it's United or Arsenal, whoever gets that agreement first with Ajax, I think the other club will just match it. I do think it'll be a bit like the Rafinha situation. You know what I mean? Whereby Arsenal reach an agreement with Leeds over the price, and then suddenly Chelsea and Barcelona go, okay, that's the price we need to pay. We'll pay it. And I do think eventually it's going to come down to actually Martinez just go, oh, which club do you want to actually go to? And my hope would be, if United don't drag their heels, and we are in that position where it comes down to a binary choice of, do you want to go to Arsenal or do you want to go to United? There are two offers on the table. You would hope he would lean more towards us, once again, just because we've got his former coach. That would be the hope. And that's what Simon Jones is saying there in the Mail, that possibly this bidding war can be slightly offset by the relationship that Ten Hag has with the player. But the concern would be is that we were saying things like that before, weren't we, with Jurrien Timber, and ultimately didn't work out. It didn't work out in the end when it came to Jurrien Timber. He decided to stay at Ajax. So we'll have to wait and see when it comes to that one.
Yeah, we will. I just think, to be honest, when I look at the stages that deal has to go for it to work, it slightly worries me. But it can all change very, very quickly. I do agree with that, because if the bid comes in and the bid's strong, personal terms, you'll probably start saying is not expected to be an issue because we've been in contact. You think of the player's relationship with Ten Hag. That I agree with that bit of, what? It could be swayed. The bidding war could be swayed. And also, it's weird. I was speaking to a few Arsenal fans about this deal. There's a lot of mixed feelings. Big up KG, just entered the chat, says, yo, lads. Big up Kotso, Kanye, big up to you. Big up Tampua, big up Tabislo, big up Steffi Jenks. Everyone in the chat. Actually, and there's a super chat just there. Let me just read it since I got to it. Lil Yo-Yo says, any reason to beat Arsenal to a signing? Let's get Martinez in ASAP. Also, did you guys see Lukaku's shirt number? So petty. I did see that. Big up to Lil Yo-Yo as usual. But what was I going to say? If Arsenal, I was talking to a few Arsenal fans, and I know it's been sold as this thing, especially on the internet. It gets to this whole thing of, you're going to hijack Arsenal and this, that, and the other, and it does that whole thing. But they're not. A lot of them aren't really bothered. A lot of them saw him as our guy first. I mean, this is the ones I was talking to, and then they sort of don't know much about him and. Oh, okay, do we need a centre back? We actually need a left back cover for Tierney, or there are things a bit different to ours. We're like, we need a centre back now. We don't want Maguire to be starting, or Varane's going to break down. We need a starting centre back. Theirs is a bit different because they're keeping Saliba from what I see. They've got Ben White, they've got Gabriel. So I don't. It was a bit weird, but at the end of the day, I can't lie. It would feel a bit. It would feel a bit nice to get in there and use your manager's kind of you know association with the player. But I don't know. It just doesn't have the bite. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. How do you feel about this deal? I just feel like I don't know if it's because I think Martinez is like he's just okay. He's good. He's okay. But I don't know if he's like, oh, thank God we got him, man. That's what we really like. I don't know. The truth is, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this deal properly.
That could be famous last words, couldn't it, Flex? That could. I mean, I'm excited about the deal, and it's not just because I get excited when we sign new players or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's more, as you mentioned, I think if you're going to weigh it up in terms of priority positions for us in comparison to Arsenal, it's definitely a more priority position for us, clearly.
Yeah. Centre
Because,
back
like I
is
said, our centre
definitely.
back options are what they are. Again, my concern is about we've got to sell players first. What? So we're going to do that over the course of the next few days? That's not going to happen. So I would think we would sign the player and then have to be looking at, okay, we need to get rid of some of these players.
Yeah.
Um, I do think, look, I think it's good that Ten Hag knows. Look, we've spoken about this a couple of times, haven't we? Why is he going for all of these people from the Dutch league, and why is he going for his ex-players? It's the relationship, clearly. He knows them, he knows their qualities, and he knows that they know what he expects and wants. I do think it's almost a multifunctional signing as well. The fact that he
Yeah.
can play as a defensive midfielder. I wouldn't be shocked if there are points in the season if we do sign him where it's actually like, oh no, he's having a run of games in that CDM role because we couldn't get our CDM that we were looking for this summer. So we got Martinez, who's should be playing centre back, but he could be playing as a DM. So back the manager, Flex. If Ten Hag thinks it's a priority signing, which those reports indicate that it is, then go get the player.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that does calm me down. So even on a personal where I'm like, Martinez, okay, yeah, I think he's okay. Da, 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 da. The biggest thing that does fill me with the security is the fact that I'm saying, listen, I'm just behind this guy. I'm just so behind this guy. Whatever decisions get made now, even if they're players that I don't know loads about or I haven't tracked for a long time or I thought was a bit left or a bit right, or where did that come from? I think the key here is just be behind it. I do, because when you look at the big money signings we've gone for, huge astronomical fees, players that are very well known about, etc. We know where that's ended up. And if for this first transfer window, Ten Hag wants to look at it and say, do you know what? I'm just going to go with what I know, then I understand why. I do. I know I had that little bit of a I had that little bit of a emotional breakdown yesterday when I was like, is this actually good, Owen? I need you to reassure me. I don't know. But I think that's actually out of, and I'll be honest, I can admit it, it's actually a little bit out of like skepticism and fear, and like we've been here before. And the truth is that because it's been so long since we've made good decisions and done things the right way, I don't know what success looks like anymore. I don't know what a good decision looks like anymore. I think
There's
I
a state
do.
of paranoia, isn't there? There's constantly a state of
Yeah.
paranoia for every signing because we've signed established players, we've signed developing players, we've signed players that we thought were on the way up, and
We've
99.9% of
done
them have all
everything.
flopped.
And then the
Exactly.
managers, then with manager situation, okay, David Moyes cool, but then you went with someone who's been there, done it all, in Van Gaal, then complete opposite to Jose, then complete opposite to Ollie, then complete opposite with Ralph, then now not a complete opposite in Ten Hag, but somewhat. And it's like I just can't put my finger on anything and be like, oh, that's brilliant. We've definitely done this right, or you kind of just need to keep it all in context, in it. And I think Cage is probably right because we have so much bad times. I think it is important to get behind things in the moment and enjoy a new signing and wish them the best and smile and get behind it. But also, it is probably right to have a balance of skepticism as well and be like, you know what, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. So let's get some comments up on the screen before we move it on. Let me know what you guys are thinking. WJ Barrett says, I'm not so sure we're in for him yet. We bid, we win. Okay, so thinking that we're not there yet, but once we do make a bid, he'll be our player. Craig says, big up to Craig. Mengi to Nzabi buy it as part of a deal makes sense. Yeah, maybe that would be good. Would Ajax want one of
I
them?
was going to say, we always assume that Ajax would want one of our players. Who's
Yeah,
to
would
say
they
that they
want them?
would, you know?
Yeah. But I actually, if you look at the profile of someone like Tuanzebe, he's still kind of
Or a
young.
Bailly. You could see Bailly
Or a
doing well in the
Bailly.
Eredivisie, couldn't
Yeah, I
you?
could see him doing all right there if they can keep him fit. Nikhil says, say we get Frankie, Malacia, and Martinez, maybe even Antony. Do you think we sign anyone else? We are very early in the window. Frankie, Malacia, and Martinez, and maybe Antony.
Did you say Frankie?
I said Frankie. I always say Frankie. I'm not you.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
told
trying
you,
my
just say
best.
De Jong. Stop trying.
FDJ? I wanted to say FDJ. You told me that
No,
wasn't
you're
cool.
not saying. You can't say that. FDJ,
FDJ.
you're not saying. That's so like, oh, look at me, I'm a YouTuber. Oh, FDJ.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's definitely my personality, isn't it? Me
but
with my head down
that's
in
what
the
I
street.
mean.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. It will make you a different person. But to answer that question before I read this next one here, there's always a chance because it's so early. There's always a chance we might be able to do something. Look how cheap Malacia was and how quick it happened and how young he is. So if we do sign an Antony and Martinez, Malacia, and there's Ericsson as well. So yeah, I think we probably could. We got G says I completely agree with you, Flex. I'm not excited by this signing. I just don't think he's the right profile of defender for us, i.e., pace, physicality to complement Maguire. Timber looked another level. Yeah, I mean, when I've looked at Martinez and seen him play a couple of times, he is quite aggressive. He's, Rojo. People said Rojo regen, innit? It's easy to say that because he's Argentinian, he's left-footed, and he's a centre back. But he is quite aggressive. He's on the front foot. He's always trying to nick in and get the ball. And he's fairly robust. Obviously, he's not physically imposing and massively dominant in the air, super tall and stuff like that. But if we play a certain way, then we might not need that. But the Premier League is a bit different. I'm trying to think of a strong Premier League centre back partnership that has two littles and not a little and a large or two larges. I don't.
But in fairness, if he was going to be a centre back, he'd be playing alongside either Maguire or Varane,
Or
who are both
Varane,
tall,
which
who
can
and
work.
win headers.
Yeah, exactly. Robert says, by the way, guys, it's Martinez, not Martinez. Do you know what? And big up to all my South American people or people who just know how to pronounce South American names. My good friend Alexis Guerrero's, we do stuff on Complex. He's Hispanic. And he always teaches me about how to say things. Clearly, I don't listen.
I've done both. And I heard you doing Martinez, and I thought, I think Flex has done his due diligence. So I stuck with Martinez.
Oh, really? No, don't trust me. I'm just like KD without his vibes.
Martinez.
Let's go Martinez. Let's put respect. We can't do the Del Boy thing of going around and not trying to, change up the accent. So, Lisandro Martinez. Is that Martinez? Martinez. Yeah, Martinez. James says, keep an eye on Torres. I'd have him over Timber. Yeah, I just think the Torres thing is just really dead right now. I think we had Alvaro come on and talk to us, Alvaro Montero, and explain in great depth, the history behind Pau Torres and where he's at. And I think that's a big reason of why it's quite quiet right now. Nobody seems to really be in for him. He's always a name that's just there because it can change at any moment, but there doesn't seem to be any talks or anything advanced. Certainly no bids from any team, let alone us. So I'll be surprised if Pau Torres ends up at Manchester United. But interesting what you say there, James. A lot of people do like him and would prefer him. So yeah, there you go. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And remember, you can join the United View Members Club. So make sure you do that if you would like to. Links in the video description. And likes, guys. Come on, we need 500 likes here. What's going on here? We're at nearly 1,700 people watching. We've only got 235 likes. You know what's going to happen if we don't get those likes up. So can we do that, please? That'll be top. Owen, what we got next?
Well, before we do move on to next, I would like to say, because you mentioned the UV Members Club, there is a video. There is going to be, I believe it's today. It's dropping a exclusive UVMC video, and you can tell by the look on Flex's face of how good it is. It is.
I ain't even seen it back yet.
I don't like to. I watched it this morning. I don't like to big things up. It might be the best thing we've ever done on the channel, and it's got nothing to do with football. It's got nothing to do with football. I won't spoil what it is, but there probably is going to be some clips on social media. If you're not a member, you're going to see those clips and you're going to go, I got to watch this whole thing. It is brilliant. So keep your eyes peeled for that one.
I apologize in advance, peeps. I apologize.
He apologizes several times in the video. It's great. It's so good. But we'll move on. We'll talk about Antony. Now, Marcel van der Kraan, of course, well-known Dutch journalist, is saying in the Telegraph over there in Holland that he doesn't think Manchester United will sign Antony due to this 80 million euros price tag, around 70 million pounds. And Ajax are holding firm on that price and not budging. They're basically drawing their line in that sand saying it's 70 million pounds or nothing. We don't need to sign him. Now, after he also said after making the signings of De Jong, Malacia, and possibly Martinez, and possibly some others, we're not going to have the budget to sign Antony. So that deal looks very, very unlikely as to happen. We spoke about this a few times, haven't we, Flex, over the last few days, that if Ajax are firm on that price, and it looks like it is. I know we did in the Deal or No Deal the other day, and KG was saying, I want to sign him, but I want to negotiate.
I
If
put
Ajax,
35 million in debt
yeah,
to add
you
to the
guys,
Glazers
he put
500.
he put it in. He put it in, and we said, like, well, that price, you kidding? But if I want to negotiate, if Ajax are unwilling to negotiate, this deal to me is dead, is it not?
Yeah,
Because that price is just not happening.
agreed. I can't see us being able to afford the 70 million once we get Frankie De Jong over the line and the likes of Malacia, and looks like it will be Martinez. Once we do that, I can't see where we find 70 million from. Stranger things have happened though, because if we sold Martial, let's just say we sold Martial and we didn't expect to, something just happened, then you never know. But I don't see how that happens. And also, I agree, especially if we get Martinez. Um, Ajax, they already don't need to sell now, but are open to selling Martinez for the right price, which they've already rejected Arsenal once. So Arsenal got to come back because again, they're not even budging on that, and he's not even as expensive as Antony. How much more can they keep losing before they start their preparations for next year? And they would have sold a lot of players this year and made a lot of changes. They're going
Yeah,
for a
I
big
think that's their
transition
point.
themselves, and they've got to. I know people say, listen, they're a selling club, they do this and they do that, but you speak to the We Talk Ajax guys, there is still a cut-off point. There is still guys, we've got our own shit to sort out. Like we've lost Overmars, we've got new changes up at board level, we've lost our manager, we've got a new manager in here now, we've lost our main striker, we've lost our main centre back if Martinez does leave. We've lost our main central midfielder in Gravenbach, or however you say it. So they would have lost a lot. Do you know what I mean? I think they lost the right back as well. He's gone. So they've lost a lot. And I think at some point they would have to, put the plug in the sink and say, right, no more. Unless, like you're saying, Owen, you're going to give us 70, 75 million. And in that case, with the way that Ajax does run, if those sorts of P's, 75, 80 and all that kind of stuff, pounds as well, we have to accept. But I think it would only take that. So I actually do think we'll miss out on Antony. I really do. I really
I
do.
agree. I think what the We Talk Ajax guys were saying at the weekend really opened my eyes to it. And they were saying, one, we don't need to sell. And the way they phrased it was, unless we win the lottery, basically. That's what they're
Yeah.
saying. That price tag is the lottery. A club like Ajax, everyone has a price. That isn't to say that United should be paying it though, because the price might be massively overinflated. That price is too much. I know KG said that he feels that Antony's price could go up. I disagree. I said it in the video. I think if anything, it could go down. He's got 3 years left on his deal. Next year
Can't
is
go
2
up.
years. Next year is 2 years. I understand if he has a good World Cup, possibly that might inflate his price, but eventually that contract runs out. 2 years, that's a little bit different. And who knows what kind of season he'll have. I do think eventually we might, revise or go back to this player possibly next year. But as of right now, I do think there are several players on the market that are just as good and possibly even better than Antony for less of a price. We spoke about them yesterday, whether it's Dembele, whether it's Asensio, whether it's Gnabry, however you say it, or as Josh would say it, Gantry. I think they are, they are probably just as good quality, but for a smaller amount. So I don't think we'll get Antony. And to be honest, I would be quite concerned, to be honest, if after signing De Jong and Malacia, we went, yeah, we signed Antony 70 million. Statement of intent, but I go, that's a price tag, that is. And I'm not sure about that one. So I agree with you. I think this one might be dead.
Yeah, I just can't see the only way it could happen, which again would be a massive U-turn because when you think about what's going on with Martinez and then the Arsenal situation and us wanting to, if Ten Hag does want him, he knows he needs to act fast because Antony's not going anywhere. We're the only ones in for him at that high price as well. The only thing that could happen is if he chooses to get Antony over Martinez. Imagine there's a world where, because you just never know what can happen in football, a world where we just don't go for Martinez anymore. and we find another young up and coming centre back that we just didn't know about. We just didn't know it was going to come, and then they put all their eggs into the basket budget wise, and then do go for Antony, and then go for a cheap centre half. Or I don't want to paint this picture, but it's just again hypotheticals. We don't get a centre back. Maybe we don't get a centre back. He goes with Maguire. He keeps the same three: Maguire, Varane, and Lindelof, and says I'll be all right with them till January. Maybe keeps one of Bailly to Nzabi Jones. Maybe let's say Bailly. Let's just say Bailly. Maybe he keeps Bailly as backup, and then goes full throttle for Antony because he might just think I just really want it. Pay the 70. Don't get a centre back. Get me him. Because one thing we have heard, which is weird, we were told by a lot of reports, and I think we've kind of forgot because it's moved on. The conversations move on to Martinez. Don't you remember, Owen, that a few weeks ago, or leading up to the back end of Frankie de Jong at least, we were told that the priority was Frankie de Jong, then a forward, then a centre back. And already we've seen it go Frankie de Jong, where there's an opportunity to get a left back, so get him. And then now there's an opportunity to get Martinez because Arsenal, so it's gone to centre back. So the
training
order
started.
and there you go, training started, so it's all changed. But do you know what I
Training
mean? Though?
started. He went.
The order.
We need a centre back and a left back. We need a
yeah. The order can change.
It can change depending on availability, certainly, and maybe it has. Maybe his priorities has changed. You know, there's a big piece we're going to do in a minute talking about Ten Hag's analysis of players and the demands he's putting there in training. And maybe it is just a case of he's had a look around, and people might not like to say it, but he had a look around in training at Rashford and Martial and Sancho, and went, maybe that's not as much of a priority as it maybe needs to be. Maybe I do really need those centre backs and those defenders that can do what I'm looking for. Priorities do change. The eye test is one thing over videos and analysis. It's another in person, is it not? And maybe that might be the difference. Maybe that's why things have changed in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get some comments up on screen and see what you guys are saying about this Antony price being too high. Maybe a poll as well, actually, if we can. I know Josh's going to put comments up, so maybe after the comments come up, if we can get a poll. Okay, yeah, there you go. A poll of, I don't know, not should we pay 70 million, but should that be the priority? Should a forward be the priority over a centre back? Which would you prefer? Put which position would you prefer? Centre back, wing, forward, or fullback, maybe say, or other, maybe something like that. James says, thanks for super chat, James. Keep an eye on Torres. Oh, we've read that one already. I've had him over Timber. And where are we at? James says, apparently Torres is changing his agent at the moment. I haven't seen that, James. So watch this space then. I haven't seen that. If he is, maybe he is looking for a move and we don't know about it yet. And Sheikh says, love from India. Guys, considering Eric Ten Hag prefers centre backs like Blind, Martinez, etc. at Ajax, don't you think Lindelof is a definite starter for him? And it's between Maguire and Varane, or maybe Lindelof CDM. That's maybe not Lindelof CDM, but for me anyway. But I like your thinking there, because if you look at what the types of centre backs he had, like you said, Timber, Martinez, Daley Blind, they're quite small, quite slight, but understand how to read the game, good on the ball. But the Premier League's different. It's how much, I think this is going to be interesting. How much of how Ten Hag plays is he going to be able to transpire into the Premier League? Does he stick to it 100%? Where, like you're saying there, Shaik, listen, that's how I play. A centre-back to me doesn't need to be a vintage one like Harry Maguire with big size 13 feet, a massive head, a brick shithouse. Let's just, the old school. They don't need to be that for me. The way I want my team to play, it's very important that they are like Blind, they are like Martinez, they are like Timber. Or does he think I need a bit of a mix and match? Because wow, the first 5 or 6 games I've seen, wow, these teams that we play against, they're so physical. Like, this is completely different to Eredivisie. Do you know what I mean? It depends, because and that's what makes me a bit skeptical when I was having that moment yesterday about, is it the best thing to get all the Dutch players? Because I get it and play that way. I get it. That's his way. And I want to believe in the manager, and I do. But we also know the Premier League inside out and know how physical it is and how quick it is and how demanding it is. So I just
everyone has to adapt. Everyone has to adapt. You look at Pep when he came in, had to adapt his system, get other players in as well. Same with Klopp. I've played this way in Germany. I've got to tweak it a little bit. He will have to tweak it, Ten Hag. There isn't a one-size-fits-all system that goes from, country to country to country. You do have to tweak things and adapt. One thing I would say, though, with that sort of the shorter centre-back, the smaller centre-back, the more ball-playing centre-back, and we did have Daley Blint at the club, who played at
Yeah,
centre back for us for a while as well. Didn't do
and he was good.
horrendous, didn't do
Yeah,
horrifically badly in that position as well. Obviously, it was under Van Gaal in the second season. Actually, Jose picked him up as well in his first season, didn't he? Played him centre back. So I think the partnership is important there. That's the key, isn't it? It's who you're lining up with, who's to your left or right hand side. You can have that shorter, more cultured, shall we say, centre back, but as we spoke about earlier, you still got to have that larger, more imposing partner next to you, I think.
yeah, agreed. And James comes through with a super chat, says Lindelof deserves more respect. Our best centre back at the moment. I agree in terms of consistency and just not making huge mistakes and being available. I agree. WJ Barrett says, lads, I've seen Eric Ten Hag coaching vibes with Lindelof. Remember, Maguire and Varane are back next week. He will see them, and Antony will be next, and no centre back. So yeah, we've seen the clips. We're going to talk about that in the next topic as well. I think about what Ten Hag's been doing. Roddy says, question to you guys: why can't we play Sancho on the right? That's why we bought him in the first place. Yeah, you know what though, with the Sancho on the left thing. I mean, he did play. He did play a lot on the left as well. He can't. I mean, that is his position as well. But it felt like because we need an answer to the right wing, and Rashford was always on the left, it felt like, and we know Rashford is not very good on the right. I get what you're saying, Roddy. It was like, when are we going to sort that right-hand side? Which is where Antony seems to come into it, because we just can't find a permanent fixture from the right. Even because actually, even if we're a little bit off topic, if we're wanting the best Marcus Rashford back, you would argue he needs to find himself back on the left-hand side, because I
Well,
don't.
also as well, we say that about the which side and all that kind of stuff. But I remember a million games last season where whatever side they started on, 20 minutes later, they were on the other
Yeah, it would
side.
change.
They
Yeah, it
swap
would
a
change.
million times as well. Not to say
Yeah,
that it's not important, but
yeah,
so many times, especially under Ralph, Sancho would start on the left. You go, started really well. And then for whatever reason, 20 minutes later, he's on the right hand side.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
I think
and
we're
it'd be
sorting
interesting
out.
to see if Ten Hag, how adaptable Ten Hag is, interchanging Ten Hag is in his system. Steve says, Ten Hag is meticulous. He will know exactly what is required. He has been part of coaching staffs in many leagues. Big up, Steve. Thank you for the super chat. He is very meticulous, knows what he wants and wants what he knows. Anthony says, we should sell Brandon, Tellez, Bailly, Jones, Pereira, and Wan-Bissaka. I reckon we can get enough for Antony. And you know what? That's what I mean about how things can change. If we sold all of them, so we got a replacement for Tellez, we'd get a replacement for Bailly because we'd get Martinez probably. Or, yeah, Jones would just go because he needs to go. Pereira can raise. Wan-Bissaka we can raise. But we wouldn't have a replacement, though, for Wan-Bissaka. We'd only have one right back, which is a problem. That actually is a problem because Dallo, for the whole season, playing game in, game out, and then Brandon's gone. Who you're going to put, unless you're going to say Ethan Laird's just going to be on the bench and stuff like that. But I don't think he's ready for that, or I don't think that will happen. So that just shows you Antony with a hypothetical of how we would probably go and get Antony, but you could already see that might leave us a little bit light. Maybe you're saying Antony, you'd put a youth player in. I don't know, but that just proves how hard it is to balance stuff of what to do. Do you know what I mean? And what to do. So yeah, there you go. Smash the like on the video. Are we up, guys? We're at 2K watching live, by the way, which is fantastic. 2,000 people watching live. Let's keep it up above that. But we haven't even got 500 likes. What's going on here? What's going on here? Can we do that? Can we do that? Come on, guys. Come on. Owen, what we got next?
Now, you're going to have to bear with us when it comes to this one because there is a lot of information that was written about yesterday by Melissa Reddy regarding Eric Ten Hag's first week of preseason training as Manchester United manager. Now, this was a really extensive report, so I want to try and get as much of this out there as possible, then we can really discuss it. So, Melissa Reddy said that one of Manchester United's senior players has described Eric Ten Hag's first week of preseason training as, quote, intense, not just on the body, but the mind. He wants you to think, think, think. Now, multiple Manchester United sources have noted how immersive Eric Ten Hag is during training sessions and time spent with the ball during his drills. There's been heavy concentration on what to do in possession in the first week of Manchester United's pre-season. Eric Ten Hag's deep analysis of United has highlighted an issue of fear and uncertainty when on the ball. He is determined to have players comfortable on the ball and making decisions with surety. Eric Ten Hag steps in each time a directive is not carried out properly in training, guiding players through exactly how he wants it to be done. Now, this is the line flex that he's reportedly used several times in training. Quotes, not good enough, give me the maximum. Now, this is offset by the encouragement he offers when, quote, the highest level is achieved. He is reportedly pleased with how the Manchester United squad has embraced and adjusted to his demands, including the arrival time of 9 a.m. Now, that's significant because previously that 9 a.m. start time was only applicable to youth players. He's actually moved that back a little bit. Now, when it comes to individual players, David De Gea is among those who have commented to staff about the improved discipline and standards and Eric Ten Hag's, quote, clear ideas. Ten Hag's reportedly been very enthusiastic on the pitches and in general around Carrington, which has created an enhanced mood. Staff also has been motivated by the early shape of Eric Ten Hag's reign as Manchester United manager and feel he is already showing the coaching ability and improved dynamic they recruited him for. Now, a lot of positive stuff there, Flex. A lot of positive stuff, a lot of glowing, shall we say, praise for Ten Hag already with his ideas on the training pitch, possession-based training, strict discipline, improved standards, and even someone like David De Gea, who, let's face it, has been there in his early career, in the good times, has been through a lot of shit in the past decade. He's looking around going, this ain't bad, you know? This is pretty good.
All spin, mate. Of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say that. You know, all of a sudden they're smiling. All of a sudden,
you bloody cynic. You're a cynic.
Nah, mate. I ain't sold by none of that rubbish. Of course they're going to say that, mate. Is it? They ain't going to come in there and But no. Listen. Good. That's what I want to hear. There is actually, you know what? It is positive PR. It is though. It is because that's actually what we need. We need positivity. We need good PR. It's good to have journalists speaking good of us and getting sources from inside the club. Whether and it's good that the players are saying that after 1 week. I would expect you to be saying that after 1 week, of course. New manager, new bounce. You're gonna try harder. You're gonna try and impress him. You're back. You're now back into a situation, especially if Ten Hag is as intense as we're led to believe, which we can all kind of gather that he is. If he is like that, you need to convince this man. Do you know what I mean? I think back and I remember that this quote always stays with me, right, from when we covered it. Me and you was on the show. That one about he says, I can look people in the eye with my decisions 100%. I can't remember which one it was, or basically I can live by my decisions and I'm not scared to look anyone in the eye and tell them that they're it or they're not it. Do you know what I mean? He can live by his decisions. And if he's like that, and like you said, we've done loads of stuff with the We Talk Ajax guys. We've done loads of stuff with Ajax fans. They all say how intense he is. So that should put our players on edge in a positive way. That should let our players come in with a point to prove. And also, if Ten Hag's what he's tipped to be, that should lead to excitement and these types of noises, i.e. the sessions are much more intense, i.e. he's very hands-on. He corrects the players when they're wrong, as opposed to like Ollie and Ralph, who would let McKenna and Fletcher be out there and Carrick doing it while they watch from the windows in Carrington having a tea or doing whatever, going through the team sheet while they doing whatever. If all of these things are true, then that's good. Obviously, I think this type of thing needs to be taken in context. I don't think you should be negative about it, but I also don't think you should be like, I knew it. I knew everything was going to be fixed. I knew Ten Hag was going to be right, because we don't know yet. But it's massively positive signs, and all we can do is get behind it. Do you know what I mean? So, in true Flex style, again, I think this is something we should just wait to reserve judgment on and kind of be on the fence a bit and see and literally be 50-50. I'm not going to get too carried away, but I'm also not going to, be stuck in last season saying, oh, why are they happy? Why is David De Gea smiling? He can't even command his box and all stuff like that. What's the point?
No, I agree. I think that you do have to take it with a pinch of salt, and it's the first week, so there is plenty of time for this to go wrong. There's plenty of time for this to go, not great. But look, I'm happy to hear happy news, and people might say, "Oh, Owen, you're falling for positive spin, you're falling for positive PR, and all that kind of rubbish." But good, people can talk about leaks. Oh, I thought the leaks were gone. is it not just a case of the players going to these sort of journalists going, "It's really good. I'm surprised. It's actually good." Are we not
We
happy
have to
to
take a
hear that?
pause. We have to take a pause.
Yeah,
We
I
have
was
to
going to say,
take
I saw that.
a pause. We've got to take a pause because Tabisol has done something massive for the channel and
Bit of
something that I've
madness.
actually never seen before. Tabisol has gifted 10 United View memberships out to one Simon McGill, to Garsha One, to Lee or Lay, I believe, to Chris Jackson, to Aaron Walker, to Swifty95, and to SL, and Makish, and Gabrielle, and Onrad Kiran, and Edda, and also is the latest member of the United View Members Club. And I think Tabisol only just became a member himself. He
He
became
had
a
one with the
member
previous. He had one with the previous account that we'll be having YouTube issues with. That was
100%.
why.
So
Tavis Low.
Tabislo, I think I'm saying that correctly now. Tabislo, you are a legend. Thank you so much for the support for the channel. Thank you for bringing people in with you as well and gifting out membership. Can we just have a round of applause, please? That is
Clap
that is
emojis in
brilliant.
the chat, or
Clap
use, or
emojis in
if
the
you're a
chat.
UV member, use whatever UV emojis you have. Put Flex's face,
100%.
KG's face, drop a bomb.
Yes, 100%. Because honestly, that means a lot. That means a lot, man. I actually really, really appreciate that. I didn't think that was possible. It may seem like a really small thing, but for this channel, that's absolutely massive and shows the community. So I'm actually a bit taken aback by that. Like he just joined a membership and just gifted 10 memberships to 10 people on the spot. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I thought it
thank
was
you so
important to
much. The
mention
UVMC
this
is
thing.
growing, and you can all watch today's exclusive video as well. Ah, it's
Yes.
brilliant. It's so good. But big up Tabislo. That is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Really, really appreciate that. So yeah, big up. Where was we, Owen? Sorry, where
Yes,
was you?
talking about
Sorry.
positive. Yes, just talking about the
Yes.
positive PR. I'm happy to hear it, and I know people can say you fall for it, and people talk about leaks, and you can focus on the negative aspects of the positive, which is are you just falling for it, and ultimately time will tell anything. We've said that a million times, but I'm happy to hear something positive. I'll take it especially when it comes to training on the training ground, because I can't remember the last time I heard a report from Man United saying the training's good.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard that?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
heard that ever? Or have you been doing this? No.
I haven't. No, no. I've never seen a journalist tweet or reports out of Carrington that Ollie's sessions are very immersive or very
No.
intriguing or it just never, never. It just hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. I mean, I'm trying to go through the last few managers. Didn't happen under Ralph. Didn't happen under Ollie. I don't even know if there were reports at the time under Jose saying training was good. All we saw was videos of him arguing with Pogba on the training pitch. Can't be that great. Louis
Yeah.
Van Gaal, I don't think we heard that as well. Like again, I'm happy to hear it. And maybe we're naive, Fleck. Maybe we're falling for it. And I wouldn't be shocked, let's face it, if in a few months' time, if we're not doing very well, the training suddenly shit. I wouldn't be shocked with that either. But
That's what I mean
again,
about staying on the fence. It's like we can we can we can admit it and get behind it in this isolated moment and embrace that because we need positivity. I'm all about positivity now, but we can't be blind. Like even when I was seeing the passing drills, I know loads of people are putting up, "Oh, this is a masterpiece. This is unbelievable. Look what he's doing." I suppose I've got a couple of people close to me that have played the game at high levels, really high level coaches, been at top pro clubs, and they're not really involved in like YouTube and stuff like that. And they'll message me saying, "Give it a rest, Vex, man. I was doing that with my eyes closed. I'm bored. That's just normal. That's
yeah,
just
or
normal."
like a 10-second clip of Ten Hag instructing players. They're going to tell you what, he's Pep Guardiola. That's what we're getting. You go,
I mean,
it's
come
10
on.
seconds. 10,
It's
10
just
seconds. It's
it's
a
just really
clip that
bizarre.
United didn't want to reveal too much. They would choose what they
100%.
reveal as well. Wait till you see matches, then you can dictate whether he is a Pep
Exactly.
Guardiola. And he's
But
not Pep
again,
Guardiola. He's Eric Ten Hag. Look at
exactly.
himself.
Exactly. And again, I'm not going to flock to the internet and quote retweet it and put a dampener on it to say, well, this is basic. I'm only saying it now because of like I'm just reminding the people of like just staying in the middle. So at the same time, like you said, doesn't mean he's Pep Guardiola because we're seeing a little bit of because it's interesting that we weren't getting. That's why it's positive PR. We weren't getting any clips from inside training with Carrick saying do this, do that, or McKenna saying, "Yep, good shortcut," because again, they're reading the room, aren't they? If we would have done that whilst we're losing games and not getting points and dressing room turmoil, they'll say, "What the f are you putting this up for?" You know.
Well, occasionally we got under the old regime. Occasionally we got that thing, where there's a bib and there's a line, like a touch line,
Yeah.
and two people grab the bib first.
Yeah.
And to be
Yeah.
fair, that didn't really read the room properly because everyone went, "Is this what you're doing?"
Yeah. And worse still was the winning team photos
I
of the
think they'll come
Rondos
back.
or the
I know
whatever.
people don't like them. They're coming back. I'm telling you, they're coming
Yeah.
back.
But if it comes back in a positive light when the mood's better, it's okay. But you can't lose to Liverpool 5-0 and then you got Matic doing a surfboard getting
Winning,
held up.
or going winning teams. The only time you're winning, mate, is training. I'd rather be the winning team at the weekend, not in midweek. Okay.
Oh, mate. 100%. Lads, the light color has changed. Is it? I don't know. Someone said that in the chat. I don't know. Latest member of United V Members Club. Cement, I'm gonna say. Big up Cement. I always see you in the comments and always see you supporting the channel. So big up to you as well. Edrin said, say that again, Josh. Yeah, that's fine. So I just had Josh in the ear there. Edrin says, glad to join
Producer.
the Yes, exactly. Glad to join the family. Love from Malaysia. Keep up with the brilliant content. 100%. We will not stop. We will keep growing. We promise you that. Super chat here from Robert. Robert says, seeing De Gea in passing drills filled me with joy. Yeah, even though, like I said, even on a normal day, he'll be doing that. He will be doing that. Like he would. I mean, he would be. But then I did see like Tom Heaton and that joining in the actual rondos and stuff. So maybe
That
that
was
is a bit of a new
interesting.
thing under Ten Hag. Maybe he is getting the keepers to actually play in the possession games, actually. So maybe actually that's what you meant, to be fair, which actually isn't what he normally does. So yeah. And Robert also says Eric Ten Hag tactics and training is what we've needed, to be honest, 100%. Hopefully it will transpire into actual games. Edwin is the latest member. He's like, yeah, read that. And we've put all of the super chats up. Tab is slow. Yep. Shay, yeah, cool. Oh, no, I haven't read that one. Palestri, there you go. Hold on a second. Super chat here from Shaikh says, maybe once Eric Ten Hag sees Palestri, Antony may not be a requirement. He will have Ahmad, Palestri, Sancho, Rashford, Alanga, Garnacho as wingers to choose. And Martial, if he really wants to use him as well. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And that's what I mean. Perceptions, like Owen said earlier in the show, perceptions can change once you arrive and have a look at people in person and talk to them. And big up to Sophia A, the latest member of the United V Members Club as well. So big up to you. Owen, what we got next?
Malacia deal is nearly done. That's according to Marcel van der Kraan. Again, yesterday in the Telegraph, he was saying, quote, the deal is done. And yesterday he spoke about his own terms. They are not so complicated because he already knew what he was going to earn at Lyon. United only had to go over that a little bit more. So Malacia could indeed be this first signing of the summer, this first announcement we're waiting for. It looks like we might hear something about Frankie de Jong over the weekend, possibly. But Balasia might be the one that we hear first. When do you think we're going to hear something, Flex?
Yeah, I think he'll be first. I was thinking, you're trying to map out a little time frame of when you think things will happen. I was thinking, oh, maybe double deal or something. But you think about how important Frankie de Jong is and what a big deal that is. He needs the limelight. I know it's not about being egotistical. Is Ornstein said this? Has Ornstein said something?
I will check.
Yeah. I need you to check this ASAP. Because, we have to work out what's going on here. Have we been punked? Have we been played? Or, you know what I mean? Well, it's complicated, he says.
Okay,
Owen's
so
got it.
Ornstein has just tweeted literally 3 minutes ago. So, but I tell you what, perfect timing, by the way.
Yeah.
Terrell Malacia to Manchester United is complicated by a representation issue. Malacia was using Ali Dursun, but not authorized on this. So 22-year-old doing it with his father. Deal is currently on track, but matter needs sorting and personal terms have to be agreed. So
Okay.
basically, I think that seems quite bureaucratic, doesn't it?
Yes, that's all right. It's complicated, and the same. I was speaking to people, and they said to me that with the Frankie De Jong situation, it still wasn't quite done yet. There was still stuff they had to iron out. Manchester United are comfortable paying that price, so they confirmed that the fee was definitely that. But hence why we still haven't seen Frankie De Jong done yet. There were still complexities around the actual player's contract and sorting things out. These things do happen. So, yeah, Compost says, transfer to Lyon. Here we go. And Ed T said, so basically it's a paperwork issue. Exactly.
Yeah, and also as well, you
Not on
would
the
say
ice
that
hockey thing.
even if he was going to Leon, this would still be the same thing.
Exactly, because
This
it's a
would still be the same
representation
thing. It's
issue.
just a representation issue. Personal terms have yet to be agreed, but it's not much of an issue. I don't think
Yeah,
this is one where you
a
would go,
deal breaker.
"Oh, yeah, it was what happened." No, he just didn't use his agent. He used his
Yeah.
father, so that was it.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, I just thought we'd had to do that there because hold on a minute, we're doing
Oh,
a
could you
Malassia
imagine
nearly
the
done.
time in us going, Marcel van der Kraan going, it's basically done. David Ornstein 2 minutes later, it's not done, it's
Yeah,
off. You'd be like, oh
it's
my
not done.
goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he is saying there is complications there, so that means it could maybe that could make it not be
The
imminent
first signing, yeah,
over the weekend.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Maybe
So,
that
but
is into next week.
100%. But to go back to what I was saying, I was thinking, could they be like unveil them both, to kind of give that push? Look, we've got two at once holding up the shirt, Ten Hag in the middle, one each either side. But I kind of think, with the market inside of it, and what a big deal Frankie de Jong is, and what a long drawn out saga that has been, I would probably think it's best he has his own, it's all on him. Then
Yeah, he'll
Malatia
have
gets
his
his
own
time,
moment. Could you
it's all
imagine
on him.
Malasia? Could you imagine how long this transfer saga has been? And then Malasia kind of worms his way in on the announcement, and he's there going, holding up the
Yeah,
shirt with Frankie, arm round him.
yeah,
Frankie be like, you're taking the piss. This has been
yeah.
weeks.
Exactly,
You know what
exactly,
I
and
mean?
they do know each other as well from the national side as well.
Yeah,
They
there
do
was
know each
pictures
other,
of
which is
them
good.
in the team photos, wasn't there?
Yeah, which
Right
is
next to
which
each
is
other.
which is good. So, yeah, I think watch this space. I think it's really hard to predict, really, when these deals are actually going to drop, when they're actually going to go through. With that little complication there that Ornstein's talking about, maybe that might put Frankie De Jong ahead of him. Who knows? I honestly don't know. I just want them done. I just want them signed, sealed, delivered, so we can move on. I already spoke about the shine and the gloss being taken and the excitement being taken out of the Frankie De Jong deal because of how long it's been. I don't necessarily. I mean, my views, and I don't necessarily blame the club for that because essentially the fee that we secured and what we're going to be getting, I'm more than happy, more than happy. And it looks like as long as he's on the plane to Bangkok, I'm over the moon. I couldn't
Yeah.
give a
Yeah,
crap
and in the
about the
grand
first
scheme
couple
of
of weeks.
thing, 2 or 3 months, no one cares about how long that took.
No one cares. And already, like you said, not even 2 or 3 months into the season, already no one will care if he's on the plane to Bangkok. And we've secured Malasia, and it looks like we're close to Martinez. And it looks like we might be looking at. Do you know what I mean? If people can see the tempo and there's two players on the plane to Bangkok, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care about the negativity of crying when Liverpool got Nunes, or crying that the City got Haaland, or crying when Arsenal made two signings in Vieira and Jesus, who they still haven't actually announced yet. Probably come today.
How
I
big were his
don't care
boots,
now.
Flex? How big were Jesus' boots?
Massive. Arsenal fans were so rattled in that post. They were like, "Oh, he's because he's big boots to fill." He's a number
They,
9
they-
shirt
they were
and
just they were just
ready to
big
score
trainers.
goals.
For
They're just
whatever
big trainers, mate.
reason, they just
Yeah.
had really big feet. I don't know why.
Yeah, he had the old flipperoonies on, man. Jesus
Yeah.
did. But yeah, there you go. And the last thing to finish off the show is we're expecting the announcement of the new home kit
Yes, we're expecting the new
today,
announcement
which
for the
is
home
yeah,
kit today. I mean, announcement, everyone knows what it looks like already. It's been widely sort of put across on social media. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on it, Flex. Do you like it? Do you like what you've seen?
yeah, yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I know you're not keen. I'm not a fan. I don't love it. When I say I don't mind, it means I'm just like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I think I haven't the collars I don't mind. I haven't had a collar shirt for a while that I've worn anyway. And I'm not keen on this how the badge is massive with the thing that goes around it. I'm not really keen on that bit, but I need to see it in person. I think it's always best to judge kits in person.
Yeah, I can't say I'm wild on it. I mean, I'm not totally thrilled that like we have a collared shirt and then just so happens so many other clubs do this summer. You know what I mean as well. I feel like it's a bit lazy. Again, I've seen, we've seen those images of maybe like the away kit. I prefer the away kit this season. I think that looks nice, the white one.
Yeah, I do like
But
that.
yeah, this one I can't say I'm wild on it.
Yeah, but and also the away kit looks because they've got the same kind of big badge as well. It feels like
Yeah.
could have done something a bit different to the home. Like just I don't know. I need to see. Hopefully the third kit, which I think that will drop. The away kit I think will drop when we're in Melbourne. And then the third kit I think is probably on the way home or just before the season starts. Hopefully that's something completely. Oh no, it's that yellow one, isn't it?
I just remember, growing
Yeah,
up,
goalkeeper one.
some real iconic United kits that were nice, and I'm just trying to
Yeah,
cast my mind back of one which I really that was a nice kit. I wasn't a massive fan of last season's one. If anything, in the future when we see last season's kit, it's just going to give us sort of shivers. We're like, oh, I don't want to. That's terrible memories. I'm trying to think of the last nice home kit that we had. I've said before a million times, I'm a fan of the tablecloth. I know people don't like that. I think maybe it's because I'm
from was the
associating it with
tablecloth one again?
Fergie's last season. The sort of
Oh yeah,
look like
no,
a
I
picnic
didn't really
blanket.
like that one. No,
But
I
the
hate
goalie one's so nice. The green
the
goalie
green
version of
one.
that is really
Yeah,
nice. I like that one. My all-time favorite is still '07, '08 one, the one with the white stripe down the back. We had an away kit that was a black version of that with white
black
stripes. It
version
was
it with the
oh, it
red.
was so
Yeah,
nice, so
the white.
nice.
I remember Ronaldo wearing that one.
Yeah.
Was it Ronaldo wearing that one? Oh
Yeah.
seven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What's your
yeah, I
favorite?
remember that. The old school. So, 2000 with the one we wore in the season of the treble.
Oh,
With the
99.
with
Yeah.
the yeah 99 with the Umbro signs going all the way down with the
Yeah.
zip there. That and the 97 where it was in the middle, crest was in the middle, sharp there, Umbro there with the collar, Cantona.
Yeah.
It
So
was
you're so
96,
you're not
97.
opposed to a collar? It's not a collar
That's
issue?
what I'm saying. So I need a good collar. I haven't had a good collar for a while. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably like my all-time favorite. Anyway, guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to join the members club, please do. A lot of people have done that today. We've got a members video dropping today. Just to let you know the results on the poll, which was earlier. Which position do you prefer? Unanimous 50% of you want a centre back, 17% want other, 17% want a forward, and 14% want a fullback. So it's fair to say people in the chat and the community basically said we need a centre back over everything. So yeah, guys, we'll be back again with another video very, very soon. Enjoy the day. We're out of here. Peace.